Hi everybody, once again Lorenzo and Alberto with you, MobileExperience, and this time we're here to do the review of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Alpha. So we're going to begin our review reminding you the specs in the case you haven't seen the unboxing that we already published on our channel. In this Samsung Galaxy Alpha we've got a display of 4.7 inches HD Super AMOLED 312 ppi. The CPU is the Exynos 5-octa with 2 quad-cores, the first one with 1.8 GHz Cortex-A15 and the second one with 1.3 GHz Cortex-A7 in order to reduce the consumption. We've got 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of ROM not expandable. The camera has got 12 megapixel and 2 megapixel the front camera, and the battery is 1860 mAh removable. So we're going to begin our review taking a look at the sensor. We've got the fingerprint sensor on the front, as in S5, as Lorenzo is showing you. On the back you've got the sensor for the measurement of the heartbeat, as in Samsung Galaxy S5. We can say that this phone is not water resistant, and you can find a great touch and feel talking about the edge and talking about the back texture. A great result in our opinion. We were really satisfied by that. And on this phone you're going to find the last version of TouchWiz, as you can see right now, with round toggle, as Lorenzo is showing you, and the Android version is the 4.4.4 KitKat, but very soon is going to come the update on Android L, in our opinion, and the phone is really good. And we can say that it's really fluid, and rarely some lags occur, but in our opinion it's not a big deal because the fluidity remains at a very good level. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about camera. And we can begin saying that you're going to find in this Samsung Galaxy Alpha the same modes and the same user interface that you're going to find on the Samsung Galaxy S5. So for example, as Lorenzo is showing you, you can change the picture size. You can choose the selective focus, the HDR, and stuff like that. And we can say that this Samsung Galaxy Alpha is able to record videos in Full HD at 60 FPS and in 4K at 30 FPS. So now, as always, we're going to take a photo. We can say that the autofocus is pretty fast, and you can take photos pretty fastly, as you can see. Now we're going to move on and we're going to see the fluidity in gallery, which is at a great level, as you can see. And now you're going to see a few photos taken with the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. So as you have just seen, the photo looks pretty good, a very good level in our opinion reached by this Samsung Galaxy Alpha. And we have to notice that if you take photo in the dark, there is a lot of rumor, so the photo looks a little bit ruined and you need to use the flash in order to reduce this effect. So now, as always, we're going to reproduce a video in order to test the quality of the display. And as you can see, the video runs really fluid. You've got this awesome angle of view, as Lorenzo is showing you. You can see the video from almost every position. And the colors look maybe a little bit too vivid, like in every Super AMOLED, but luckily you can change settings if you want them to look more natural. And talking about definition, we can say that this phone has a pentile matrix, maybe the weak point of this phone, because considering the white color, you can notice a very little black grid, typical of the pentile matrix. So in our opinion, maybe the RGB matrix would have been a better choice. And this very little black grid, you can notice it on the icons, for example, and on maybe a little bit the photos. Not a big deal, but on a smartphone that costs €700, maybe you could have a little bit better with the RGB matrix. Now we're going to consider music. And we're going to reproduce Pompeii as always. The speaker is placed in a very good way on the lower side, so no problem at all also if the phone is on the table. The volume is very good, so good mark also in the audio aspect in our opinion. Okay, so now we're going to talk about gaming, and as always we're going to play with Real Racing 3, one of the most testing games that you can find, in order to see how this Samsung Galaxy Alpha reacts. Here it is. So as you can see, these games run in a very good way on this device. The level is, in our opinion, comparable to Samsung Galaxy S5. The graphic is very good, and it's really fluid also in the most concentrated scenes. Very few lags, so if you're considering to buy this phone for gaming, you're not going to be disappointed. We can assure you that. The gaming is a positive aspect of this phone, definitely. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the Antutu Benchmark in order to see the score that this phone realized. And here it is. The score is definitely great. It's a very high score, because you have to consider that, for example, the Mi 4 realized 46,000 and the Samsung Galaxy S5 realized 45,000, also the M8 45,000, so the score is definitely high, and is useful to understand that this phone is really good. Now we're going to move on. We're going to talk about browser. As always, we use the desktop mode. We are connected with the Wi-Fi. We're going to surf on this Italian testing site, Corriere della Sera, with a lot of news, a lot of photos, links. And we're going to see how this Samsung Galaxy Alpha reacts. Here it is. Yeah, as you can see, the scrolling is very good, it's very reactive, few white zones while Lorenzo is scrolling down in a very fast way, so that's very good. The pinch to zoom is very fast actually, it follows your finger almost in an instant. So if you surf a lot on the internet, you're not going to have any kind of problem with this brand new Samsung Galaxy Alpha, we can assure you that, and it's pretty clear as you can see. A great browser in our opinion, really reactive. Okay, so now to conclude this review, we're going to, as always, we're going to give marks on almost every aspect of this phone. And we begin talking about the designer and build quality that in our opinion deserve an 86 out of 100 because of the aluminium, Gorilla Glass free, on the back we've got polycarbonate and the battery is removable. The performance is 83 out of 100. The display is 79 out of 100 because it's not bad, but as we said before, there is this pentile matrix, so the definition is good and it doesn't stress the battery a lot, so that's a positive thing, but the RGB matrix in our opinion is definitely better. The camera is 83 out of 100, the speaker is 77 out of 100, battery is 73 because 1860 milliampere is a little bit low, and you can, if you use it not in an intensive way, you can arrive till 9 p.m. with 10% of the battery left. But if you use this phone in a very intensive way, at 6 p.m. The battery runs down, so that could be a really big problem if you use a lot of, for example, for working and stuff like that. The specs deserve, in our opinion, an 80 out of 100. The user experience is 84 because it's very lightweight, it's compact, it's thin with this very big display, so in our opinion a great UI. The quality price ratio is 73 out of 100 because in Italy it costs 700 euro, so in our opinion the price is really high. In our opinion the fair price would have been 100 euro less, so 600 euro in our opinion, and the final mark is 81 out of 100. So in conclusion, we can say that we'd advise this phone if you, for example, love the Samsung brand, and if you want to have top phone performance with reduced dimensions. You have to consider that this is the first Samsung built with aluminium, and the touch and feel actually is, in our opinion, is actually great. You have to consider also the weak point of this phone because, for example, the battery doesn't last a lot, but you have to consider that this problem can be solved removing it, and the display is not as other top phones, doesn't reach that level, and the price, like I said before, in our opinion, is a little bit high. So that was all for today. If you have any other question, comment, or advice, feel free to drop those below in the comment section. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe our new channel in the case you haven't already done that. And goodbye by Lorenzo and Alberto of MobileExperience.